Hello, this is Kapil, and for this video, I'll be talking about what we did for less in the spring quarter of 2017. As a quick, high-level overview of what less is, what we're trying to do is build a system that, through the use of low-effort contributions, we can begin to collect high-fidelity data in the physical world at many, many locations and achieve this high coverage over the entire area that we want to collect data in. This quarter, we focused more on being able to show that given that we have some data in the system already from opportunistic contributions, users will be able to be notified with that data and then incentivized to go to locations that might be of interest to them. So to talk about that a little bit more, the main deliverables from this quarter have been two big research studies. The first one was just to capture more data about how people contribute opportunistically, and we'll call that study Explore. The second study was the Expand and Exploit study, where we wanted to learn how people get incentivized to go to locations and then also contribute more. To start with Explore really quickly, what we did with the study was we set up a bunch of locations. None of them had any pre-seeded data, and we just let people opportunistically explore and contribute data as they went about their normal lives. And what we found through this study, if we go to the research canvas here, is that users are willing to contribute when they're notified because it's very easy to do so. And we found this was the case from reading the post-study interview or post-study surveys where a lot of users cited that the interaction was really easy. And some even cited that it was fun and they felt like they were being helpful to the rest of the community when they were contributing data. Additionally, we found that the data that we collected from these users in this purely opportunistic setting can actually be scaffolded to create higher fidelity information about these locations. And we see that by looking at the quantitative logs of the data, and we see that within those logs, the mean number of contributions per location, so the number of people who came and responded to notification that they were sent, was actually higher than 1, which indicates that more of these places are getting more than just one response. So we start seeing a little bit of scaffolding happen. It's not the full scaffolding that we'd like to see, and the reasons for that include simply there not being enough people to pass by, so we don't have the traffic. And also that some people don't have the mobility that other people might, so they might just see less locations. But it still shows how our system can be used for collecting these low fidelity or low effort contributions. The second study, which is far more interesting, we now, instead of just having people go around and contribute data, we actually seed the data for specific locations, and we see if users will go to it given a different distance. And for this, the research questions that we really wanted to ask were, 1, can we use this data as an incentive and bring people there? 2, when people are brought there, will they contribute more information? And 3, also in the process of drawing users there to this target location, can we actually have them contribute more information about other places on the way there? Basically increasing the coverage in the entire search space. And so some really early analysis of the data shows that users can be incentivized to go to a location when they're pinged at a distance away from it. But what we saw is that the response rate is actually very low. So overall, only about 7% of users, 7% of the notifications that were sent, people said that they were willing to go to these places, which makes sense because if we look at the rest of the responses, we see that more than 50% of people who said they wouldn't go to the place is because of a scheduling reason. So they have to go to class or they have to be somewhere else. And we don't capture that information in the system as it is right now. So we can't really predict whether or not someone could go based on the time of day or the availability they have. Additionally, we found that users will contribute information when they have been incentivized to go to a place. We saw that about 50% of people will respond with more information. Additionally, like I mentioned before, when users don't go to locations, the primary reason for not going is because of scheduling conflict. And finally, we saw that users who were notified for exploit regions, which are other locations beyond just the target location when they walked by, about, what was it? 10 out of 15 people said that they would be willing, or sorry, 10 out of 15 people responded to that and contributed data there. So we see that we can actually ask them to contribute additional data as they go through, as they go towards their test location. So for next steps, what we'd want to do with the explore or expand and exploit study is maybe focus more on capturing these users' schedule conflicts if we wanted to run the same kind of study and make it so that we only notify when they would most likely be willing to go. The additional other thing that we can try, and this is not something that's built into the interface right now, would be to actually allow users to search for what they want to do so that they can choose when they would want to go, and it's not us trying to push them into this location. So those would be next steps for both design and also how we would do the research. Another aspect of running a study that we would want to change or probably improve upon is the study we ran wasn't a full adaptive 4x scheme. So each person was given a different study condition, and that's the location, that's the distance they were notified at. In an adapted 4x scheme, depending on how much information was there, the distance would change automatically. The logic being, as there's more information, we should be able to get more people that are further distance out. But this wasn't tested in this case. So the next site design would probably want to have that as a big component as well. Without further ado, we'll do a quick demo to show how long distance notifications work. Okay, so here we're going to do a really quick demo of what expand would look like. So there are currently small tables and couches available near outlets in Coffee Lab. Would you like to go? So this is what you would see if you were either walking towards Coffee Lab or if you were within the region as well. So suppose I want to go. I click it, and then I see these options. So these options are here as a way to do an EMA with the people who are testing less. So we can now ask specifically like why they would want to go there if they did, and other reasons for why they may not have. So what I'll do is I'll say, yes, great to know, because I'd like to go to Coffee Lab. And then what will happen is, as we're walking around and going towards Coffee Lab, we'll get these little exploit notifications here, where they'll ask us things like, do you see any open bike racks near this location? So I'll say that there were open bike racks, and then, oh, I just got a notification asking for Coffee Lab. And then there would be options here where you can respond.